Hot summer days mean extreme heat down in the Palo Duro Canyon. Now students at West Texas A&M University are mapping it out with a new study. KAMR Local 4's Kaylee Green reports on the goals of that study and how park officials hope it can help.
WT students will use sensors to create a heat map of Palo Duro Canyon.
Everyone knows the canyon's hot. I think that's common knowledge. Sometimes the visitors that come from out of town don't.
Assistant Professor of Environmental Science at WT, Dr. Eric Krosman, says they're collaborating with the National Weather Service.
Some days the canyon is 12 degrees hotter and some days it's 2 degrees hotter. And so this data will help us to improve the forecast, help the Weather Service to improve the forecast for the really hot days.
Dr. Krosman says these observations haven't been done in large canyons before.
But what we would see here would be replicated in other canyons like the Grand Canyon, canyons throughout the world. And so just the fundamental science of having observations all throughout the sides and on top and in the canyon.
Which could save lives.
Folks come out in the middle of the day in the summer, they're underprepared with water and the right clothing, sunscreen, all of those things, and they get overheated, then it can be really dangerous. It can be life-threatening.
Palo Duro Canyon Assistant Park Superintendent Jeff Davis hopes the study's findings will reduce the number of heat-related rescues they make. He says on a busy Saturday, they might assist 20 or 30 hikers.
We know for sure that it gets hotter on the bottom. It's like a big convection oven basically, but we don't have specific data on, what levels are safer, what trails at what height or what elevation in the park might be safer than others. And so I think having that data is just one more, tool in our tool belt to help us provide the information that people need to be safe.
Dr. Krosman says 12 undergraduate students are working on this study. He says the recent rainfall set them back, but they hope to get going once June comes and the heat sets in. Live in studio, Kaylee Green, KMR Local 4 News. Jackie.
Kaylee, thank you. WT says students will also examine how the terrain and the dry line interact to trigger storms.